A woman hires a drifter as her guide through New Orleans in search of her missing father. In the process, they discover a deadly game of cat and mouse behind his disappearance. Hard Target is up next on Inside Movies. Hey guys, thanks for joining us on Inside Movies. My name is George McHale. I'm a comic book maker. I'm joined by novelist Andrew Buckley, writer-illustrator GMB Kamichuk, and that's it. Just the three of us for this episode. And we're talking about Hard Target. Let's get into it. What's good? What do we like about it?
Oh my goodness. A movie about the healing power, the redemptive nature of having a mullet affixed to the back of your skull. With that mullet, there is nothing you cannot do. No stone you will leave unturned. No vengeance that you will not deliver. And I think it has inspired me. The next time you see me, I may have a new hairdo.
Is this like the best mullet of like all time? I don't know if mullets get better than this. This is like, you know, Tom Selleck with his mustache. This is like Jean-Claude Van Damme and mullet. I think they're like synonymous.
You're 100% right. This is peak mullet. This is mullet pinnacle, the apex of all mullets, mulletized in this film.
It wasn't just a mullet. Like it almost had like a permed effect to it, where it was perfectly even all the time throughout the entire movie, even when he was getting beat up and shit. There's something magical about that mullet.
That's right. It turned him into a Molotov cocktail of vengeance in this film.
Okay, but in all seriousness, the reason to watch this movie is the action. John Woo is an absolute master, and this is like his first U.S. film. He's got Jean-Claude Van Damme standing on motorcycles. You got him riding a horse, shooting at helicopters. You got guns, doves, slow motion, throwing guns and catching them and shooting them. Fucking awesome. It's so cool.
It's a loose retelling of The Most Dangerous Game, where the game hunters are looking for mullets.
My good list is real short, guys.
How about this? It's good that Kurt Russell didn't do this movie.
That's a good call. That was very smart of Kurt Russell. I put down that Chance Boudreau is a badass name. That's about that. That's the level of my notes on my good list. I also put that Yancey Butler is pretty hot. And then I put a question: is that Imhotep the Mummy? And then I wrote Lance Henriksen, and that was it. That's my entire good list. So that's what I thought of this movie.
You're glossing over the villains; they're great.
Yeah, Lance Henriksen with the single shot elephant gun. I don't know guns. I'm sorry, gun people. The gun thing as a villain, as a fictional villain, he was pretty scary. I thought the slow loading and mullet hunt intensity.
Give it credit to Lance Henriksen. I mean, the guy is a good actor. No matter what you put him in, he's going to be good. But that scene where he sets on fire and the coat's on fire was not intentional. He legit, he carried on acting. Like he took it off and he like threw it aside. And then everybody, all the henchmen behind him, all the actors were like panicked. And he was like, "What am I paying you for?" And he just carried on acting and made him get back into the scene. That's some professionalism.
I didn't know that.
That is so badass, Lance Henriksen for the win. That's so cool.
Yeah, no, that guy's amazing, and he's legit scary. Like I'm probably like way bigger than him in real life. You know, like actors are, you know, but he would scare the shit out of me. I find him just incredibly intimidating. And like even when he's playing the piano by himself, I'm like, I don't want to fuck with this guy. I don't want to be one of those keys. Yeah, and like the kung fu action, like Jean-Claude Van Damme is, you know, he's very competent at like kicking people like straight in the face and like breaking arms like over his, and like the whole showdown and the where they like keep the Mardi Gras stuff. That whole section is just bananas.
The trope of, oh no, the arrow hit something else or the bullet hit something else, though, for some reason, I forgive it in this movie. It works. Normally, I would list it in the bad, like you see it coming. But for some reason, everything else that's so bananas in this, frankly, very dated action film from its day, it works. It works so good. And John Woo, really, he's firing on all cylinders, no pun intended, in this film. Do you know what else has amazing mullets? Wordsmith Academy. Why don't you tell us about it, Andrew?
Yeah, we have great mullets at Wordsmith Academy, in that we don't have any mullets whatsoever. Yeah, we just officially launched our story coaching services at Wordsmith Academy. So if you're an author who is interested in getting yourself published and you need a little bit of help when it comes to like your query letter and your synopsis, or you would like a critical review of your first 3 chapters, which is all important when you're querying agents and publishers, then we can definitely help. So check out wordsmithacademy.com.
And I've included a link to Wordsmith Academy in the description of this video. So make sure you click that link and go and improve your writing skills. Start making some creative projects. It's fun, and Andrew can help, and all the staff at, or all the teachers at Wordsmith Academy can help with that. All right, let's get into the bad. What do we not like about this awesome movie?
Let's face it, it's not a very good movie.
No,
don't say that.
It's not a very good movie, but there's a difference between good and favorite. For a long time, it was my favorite Van Damme movie. Looking back, that was a mistake. But it was because I so loved John Woo films that I think I held this place in my heart for it. But it is not a particularly excellent movie.
I think I was the same way, because I was coming off a John Woo kick when this came out. I discovered him in college, and some kid had given me like all the John Woo movies, and I loved, Killer and Hard Boiled, and they were great. And I thought, oh, U.S. movie, Jean-Claude Van Damme, it's gonna be great. And I do remember liking it when I watched it, but rewatching it 20 years later, it is not a good movie. It is terrible. Even John Woo's signature stuff was real sketchy in this. Like, a lot of the slow motion stuff was weirdly unbalanced. Like, it'd be a slow motion, then it'd be normal speed, then it'd be slow motion. I'm like, what the hell is that? Why is he walking slow motion, but none of the rest of the scene is walking in slow motion? It doesn't make any sense. And that exactly fucking close-up of his lips, that would drove me nuts, all right? I would put a note down that I hated that close-up of his lips. Why? John Woo, why?
When Jean-Claude Van Damme is like riding on the motorcycle and he stands on the motorcycle and like they shoot it from behind and he's like going like full speed and it's like a stuntman with an amazing mullet also, and then they like do the front view and it's Jean-Claude Van Damme and he's going like 2 miles an hour but in slow motion. It was like, come on, that doesn't look great. I don't watch these type of movies for the plot. I watch it for the action and for the excitement. But one thing is like, so the girl's dad gets killed. Well, they're like, those people hunt him, and then like the way that they discover that this guy was killed when they're like digging through his like remains or whatever in the fire is they find like this like dog tag that has a dent in it, and it's like, well, clearly he was killed. I'm like, that's not clear. That's not clear that he was killed. And they like the police like reopen the case because like there's a dent in the dog tag. Like, was
it also because like a dove landed on the dog tag in his apartment, and Jean-Claude had watched it flutter slowly over and land, and then he looked at it, and then the dove looked at him, then he looked at the dove, and then he said, yeah. And that was it. That was the realization to move the plot forward. I was like, wow, that's a hell of a story device.
What I like to do is I like to think when a movie is like this, I like to think that Lance Henriksen survived his sad end of this film, and this is his sordid past from his character in Millennium, the long-running series.
Oh, I love that show. So,
that he went from here to become an FBI profiler, investigator, semi-psychic, searching out the mysteries of end of the world cults. I believe that these two things are connected, and if you watch them with that in mind, you will enjoy this film a lot more.
No, I don't think you will. I don't think that's true at all. Why did the old guy have to blow up his entire cabin? Why the entire cabin? Isn't that all his worldly possessions? Was there no other way they could have done that? That irritated me. That guy's homeless now. Also dead. Did he die? I forget if he died. Did he die?
Is he the guy with he has diabetes on?
No, it wasn't. I looked it up because I thought it was too. It's not. Different dude. Totally different dude.
Lance Henriksen received the Saturn Award for this film. That's another tidbit, yeah, for his supporting role. But I think probably now that I'm hearing the full story, they probably gave it to him when they heard that story about his coat catching on fire and he just kept acting.
Totally.
That is for sure the Saturn Award cincher.
That totally reminds me of like when Leonardo DiCaprio cut his hand open in that scene in Django Unchained and kept on going, even though his like hands all like blushing. Blushing? No.
It's blushing good.
Gushing.
Gushing blood. Blushing bud. I don't know. Anyways, something else that I didn't really like about this movie is the acting is not great, especially by like Yancy Butler. She's a pretty face, but she's pretty wooden. And this isn't like Van Damme can give good performances.
Really?
But this one is not one of his best.
There was just so much cheesiness that went along with it. I cringed so hard when he did the thing the first time he meets Yancy Butler and he pulls the coat away from his leg. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, but he's like honestly, a gunfighter showing you his.
I know what it was supposed to be like. It was so stupid.
Cool. I actually like that part when he's like, he's kind of got that like kind of Western theme when he's like entering the room or whatever, and he's got the and it's like his legs are his weapons, and it's just cool. Like the cheesy one-liners and stuff in this movie are fun, and it's awesome. But obviously we don't totally agree, so let's find out what our final grades are. What's the skinny? What did you guys think of this one?
I think it's important that we all use mullets as the measure.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Right? But would we measure the number of mullets, like mullet frequency, or the length of mullet? Like what really epitomizes?
It's got to be the number of mullets, right? I think it's the number of mullets out of whatever.
Number of mullets. Well, I will give this film 8 out of 10 mullets for the amount of excellent mulletry. But it is only 2 out of 10 exploding motorcycles for being an action movie that stands the test of time.
Yeah, but it's the time is the problem here. I mean, we live in a world with like John Wick and shit where, it's beautifully choreographed and the action is, I mean, are we going to, I don't know, in 20 years, we're going to watch John Wick and be like, ugh, terrible. This shit doesn't hold up. I gave it 2 very shiny and well-balanced mullets out of 10 because it doesn't hold up.
No. I disagree. I'm going to give it a B+, which would be that's like about 84 out of 100 mullets. So,
math checks out, George. That math checks right out.
So many mullets.
I like movies like this. I like kung fu action. I like doves. I like motorcycles. I like gunfight. And this movie is cool. And I don't know why you guys don't like it more, but that's your problem.
George, I just realized something. Wisdom. You made a connection to Burt Reynolds' mustache. A mullet is a mustache that you wear in the back. Yeah.
That's for your neck. Okay, that's going to do it for another episode of Inside Movies. I've been George McHale, joined by Andrew Buckley, GMB Kamichuk. Follow along with us on our writing and creative adventures. Links to our Facebook or Instagram or Twitters, all that stuff in the description of this video. And check out Wordsmith Academy. Also, there's a link in the description of this video. Until next time, peace.